Resolution authoring supervisor to execute poll site agreement. Whereas the Dutchess County Board of Elections desires to use Dover Town Hall, 126 East Duncan Hill Road, Dover Plains, New York, as a polling site for the New York State primary elections, as well for the New York State general election, and whereas the date of New York State primary is June 27th, 2023, with voting hours between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m., and access between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m., and whereas the date of the New York State general election is November 7th, 2023, with voting hours between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m., and access between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby authorizes the Town Supervisor to execute a polling site agreement with Dutchess County Board of Elections for use of Dover Town Hall as a polling site for the primary election as well as the general election, along with permission for delivery and pickup of the voting machines. Be it further resolved that a copy of the agreement shall be kept on file in the office of the Town Clerk of the Town of Dover. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Maluta, seconded by Murphy. Discussion. This happens every time we need it. This is just automatic.
Deal, yeah.
Yep. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Resolution authorizing request for the Town of Dover to join federally designated lands of Hudson Highlands Region. Whereas the Highlands Region encompasses more than 3 million acres of Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, and whereas the Highlands Region in an area of national significance, possessing substantial natural beauty, containing contiguous forest and productive farmland, numerous cultural and historic sites, plentiful recreation opportunities, and the protection and supply of important drinking water sources for over 15 million people. And whereas the U.S. Congress, and by partnership, passed the Highlands Conservation Act, Public Law 10-421, that was signed into law by the President of the United States on November 30th, 2004, designating the Highlands as a significant national conservation priority region. And whereas the Highlands Conservation Act authorizes the Secretary of the Interior and the Secretary of Agriculture to provide financial assistance to Highland states to preserve and protect high-priority conservation land in the Highlands region. And whereas the United States Fish and Wildlife Service manages a voluntary grant program to assist Highland states, local units of government, and private forest and farm landowners in the conservation of land and natural resources in the Highlands region in coordination with willing sellers. And whereas land preservation efforts in the Highlands region should link the parks, historic sites, wetlands, wildlife habitats, streams, rivers, reservoirs, watershed trails, scenic and natural lands, and other protected areas unique to the region for the enjoyment of future generations. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Dover supports being officially included in the federal Highlands boundary as maintained by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for the Highlands Conservation Act Grant Program, thereby qualifying for financial and technical assistance provided by the U.S. Congress. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Brought by House, seconded by John? Murphy. Any discussion? I think this is another good move on behalf of our town. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Resolution acknowledging and accepting submission of the Town of Dover AUD to New York State Comptroller's Office for 2022. Whereas the Town of Dover has prepared an annual update document, the AUD, which is an annual financial report, and whereas the 2022 AUD has been filed with the New York State Comptroller's Office. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby acknowledges and accepts the Town of Dover 2022 AUD for filing with New York State Comptroller's Office. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Murphy, seconded by Jackson. The copy of the AUD is on my desk for the board to review when you want to and when you have the time. I want to thank you, our bookkeeper, Ms. Scaramuzzo, preparing and once again getting it filed on time, as always. And thank you to whoever else contributed to that report and helped out with that report in my office. Once again, thank you very much and great job by all. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So carried. Tommy, on this next one, we usually read the employees' names and the wage, correct?
As of last year, we had just attached what Julie.
We don't need to
We
read
don't
the
need
list?
to review
Okay.
it,
I
yeah.
remember reading in the past.
Yeah, we used to do it
There
that
was a
way, but
question,
we were
so we
just,
don't need to, as
we're
long as
making
it's in
an
the record.
attachment. The town
Okay.
clerk's
Okay.
flexible with that.
Great, thank you. Resolution approving 2023 seasonal summer employees. Whereas the Town of Dover Recreation Activity Specialist has provided the Town Board of the Town of Dover with her recommendations for 2023 Town of Dover seasonal employment. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Dover has reviewed the Town of Dover Recreation Activity Specialist recommendations for 2023 seasonal employees. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby approves the following individuals for the 2023 Town of Dover seasonal employees, as attached hereto and made a part of hereof this resolution, at the pay rates contained herein. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by House, seconded by Murphy. Again, the copies of this resolution you have in front of you. There is a list of names. I do see some returns, people coming back. Once again, Julie, we truly trust your judgment.
Do we have any sorry,
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
do we have any more openings? Or are we,
Right now, no.
So we are fully employed.
As of right now.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, thank you. Best of luck into the camp. Best of luck to all of our employees for the season. Are there any other discussion? Hearing no further discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Authorize grant-related transfer of general fund savings for the Community Development Block Grant, the CDBG project, public restroom facilities improvements at J.H. Ketchum Memorial Park and Thomas Boyce Park. Whereas the Town of Dover made application and was awarded reimbursable grant funds of $53,000 for restroom facilities improvements at J.H. Ketchum Memorial Park in Dover Plains and Thomas Boyce Park in Wingdale. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby authorizes the